Long ago, there was a man named Abraham. He was very old, but he and his wife Sarah didn't have any children. One day, God appeared to Abraham and promised him that he would have a son, even though Sarah was too old to have babies. Sarah had an idea. She thought Abraham should have a child with her servant Hagar. So Abraham listened to Sarah and had a son with Hagar. They named him Ishmael. But even though Ishmael was Sarah's seventh son, he was still considered Sarah's child. When Hagar realized she was going to have a baby, she didn't treat Sarah very nicely anymore. As a result of this, Sarah got upset and told Abraham about it. Abraham said Sarah could do whatever she wanted to Hagar, so Sarah treated Hagar badly and Hagar ran away. Eventually, God made a promise to Abraham. He said that Abraham's family would be very big, but Sarah would still have a special son named Isaac. This made Sarah feel better, but she still doesn't like Ishmael. She thought Ishmael might be a problem for Isaac, so she asked Abraham to send Ishmael and Hagar, his mother, away. Even though Abraham was sad about this, but God told him it would be okay to listen to his wife Sarah and send Hagar away. So Abraham gave Hagar and Ishmael some food and water and sent them away. They wandered in the wilderness, but God heard Ishmael's cries and helped them find water in the desert. Thereafter, God promised Hagar that Ishmael would grow up to be a great nation. Ishmael had 12 sons and they became very important leaders. They lived in the desert and were known as Arabs. Even though Ishmael and Isaac were brothers, they didn't see each other much. But when Abraham died, they both came together to bury him. Ishmael lived to be very old and he had a lot of descendants. After Ishmael and Hagar left Abraham's home, they wandered in the wilderness. But God was watching over them. He made sure they had enough food and water to survive. As Ishmael grew up, he became a strong leader. He thereafter married an Egyptian woman and they had many children. Ishmael's family grew until they became a powerful nation. On the other hand, Ishmael's sons had sons of their own, and they became leaders of their own tribes. In total, Ishmael had 12 sons, just like Abraham's grandson Jacob. These sons became the heads of 12 different tribes, each with its own land and people. They lived in the deserts, moving from place to place with their flocks of sheep and goats. They were known as the Ishmaelites, and they were skilled at surviving in the harsh desert environment. But life wasn't always easy for Ishmael's descendants. They often had conflicts with their neighbors, and they lived in a state of constant rivalry. This was just as God had predicted when Ishmael was born. Despite the challenges they faced, Ishmael's descendants flourished. They became known for their bravery and their skill as warriors. They were feared by their enemies and respected by their allies. Over time, Ishmael's descendants spread out across the Arabian Peninsula, settling in different regions and intermingling with other tribes. They became known as Arabs, and they played an important role in the history of the Middle East. Today, the descendants of Ishmael are still proud of their heritage. They trace their ancestry back to Abraham and Ishmael, and they take pride in their rich cultural and religious traditions. As time passed, Ishmael's descendants became a significant part of history and religion. Their story, rooted in the ancient promises made to Abraham, holds importance in understanding the unfolding of God's plan. The Ishmaelites, as they came to be known, were not just any people. They were deeply connected to the promises God made to Abraham. Even though Ishmael wasn't the son chosen to continue the covenant, God still blessed him and his descendants. The Ishmaelites played a crucial role in the development of the Arabian Peninsula. Their nomadic lifestyle shaped the culture of the region, and their strength as warriors made them a force to be reckoned with. Despite their differences, Ishmael's descendants shared a common ancestry with other tribes in the region. But perhaps the most significant aspect of Ishmael's legacy is his connection to the Abrahamic faith. It is worthy of note that Muslims, Christians, and Jews all trace their spiritual heritage back to Abraham. In Islam, Ishmael is considered a prophet and a forefather of the Arab people. His story is recounted in the Quran, where he is revered as a religious man who played a crucial role in God's plan. For Jews and Christians, Ishmael's significance lies in his role as a symbol of God's faithfulness. Despite not being the chosen son, Ishmael was still blessed by God and became the father of a great nation. His story serves as a reminder that God's promises are always fulfilled, even in unexpected ways. His story serves as a reminder that God's promises are always fulfilled, even in unexpected ways. In the end, Ishmael's story is not just about one man or one nation. It is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit and the enduring power of faith. There are so many lessons that can be learned from this story of Ishmael in the Bible. One of the lessons is that the birth of Ishmael and his subsequent blessings illustrates the fact that God's promises are not limited by human understanding or expectations. Also, both Abraham and Ishmael demonstrated faith and trust in God's plan, even when they were faced with difficult decisions. Abraham trusted God's promise that Ishmael would become a great nation. Abraham trusted God's promise that Ishmael would become a great nation. Ishmael himself relied on God's provision and protection as he wandered in the wilderness. Their faith serves as a powerful example of trusting in God's guidance and provision, even in uncertain times and conditions. Thank you so much for watching this video. We would like to hear your thoughts and the lessons you learned from this story in the comment section below. Also, subscribe to this channel and like this video. Share it with your friends across all social media platforms. We look forward to hearing your view in the comment section. Also, if you have any topic you would like us to discuss, you can also drop it in the comment section of this video. Bye.